And Paul's otherwise known as Shag.
Oh, thank you.
Not quite sure why.
Yeah.
And the first record we've chosen is by the Pixies, who are really great.
Yeah, it's really good. And this is Caribou.
Yeah, and last time we were listening to this, we're on the tour bus, and dawn had come and gone, and we'd been up all night, and it sounded absolutely most amazing it ever sounded at that point. So hope it sounds as good again. And that's from Come On Pilgrim, apparently.
Yeah, the first Pixies album.
And if you haven't got it, you should get it, because it's amazing. They're sort of... Oh, I want to say fucked up. They're sort of messed up country and western.
Yeah.
That's as much as I can like country and western, really, Pixies, as far as I can go.
Well, we might have some more later.
Yeah, I know.
Right, coming up, the next one's by Cobra Killer, and this is on the Digital Hardcore label, home of a teenage Atari teenage, right? And I don't even know what this is called, but when I first heard it, I thought the record was jumping all over. You know, the needle was jumping all over the record, and I thought it was brilliant. It's just completely different. You won't have heard anything like this before.
And it's Cobra Killers.
Yeah, Cobra Killer, and apparently they're coming over.
A bunch of girls, aren't they?
Yeah, a couple of girls. A couple of girls from Munich, I believe. And so, we just hit this.
And that was Cobra Killers.
That was great, yeah.
That was Paul's choice.
Yeah. It's supposed to sound like that.
Yeah. Do not adjust your sets, isn't it?
No, that's right.
And the next track we're going to go for is Kraftwerk, and early 70s from Germany, hence the name Kraut. And it's a band called Faust, and they're one of my favourite bands. It's actually one of my favourite albums of all time. It's Faust 4. And it's a very mixed album. There's lots of different stuff on it, but this track is really mellow, acoustic track until the guitar comes in. And that's ESG and Erase You.
Yeah, the Scoggins Sisters.
And early 80s New York styling. And they're actually just re-releasing a lot of their stuff at the moment, aren't they?
Yeah, and that's Justine's current fave.
It is absolute brilliant.
Playing it all the time.
I am, yeah. I want to sound exactly like that at the moment. I'm failing miserably.
Yeah, it's good. They seem to have space as well as percussion.
Well, they got no guitar player, Shag, you see.
No,
that's why they got space. But, yeah...
On the paintbrush.
Yeah.
Guitar brush.
Absolutely.
Right, now, coming up after that, we've got Glen Cambell. Big change of direction
Gold
here.
Cowboy.
Gold Cowboy. With a great Jimmy Webb song. And this is called By the Time I Get to Phoenix.
That's Glen Cambell. That's one of Paul's favourites at the moment.
Yeah, it brings a tear to my eyes.
That was another favourite on the tour bus, actually, but I can't quite go there with that one. I don't know, it's too proper for me.
Oh, I don't know. I mean, the common one was to play Wichita Lineman, but that would be too common, too obvious, so we went, by the time we went to Phoenix...
I always think Wichita Alignment sounds like it should be a full track. Do you know what I mean? Wichita Alignment. It's like, do you know what I mean? It's one of those titles.
Really?
Yeah, I think so. I don't know. Right, the next track is a Lil Kim track, and it's called Big Mama Thang, in fact, and it's featuring Jay-Z, and it's a bit rude, but I think it's absolutely great. I want to be Lil Kim when I grow up. Tough, your shit is tired. You want to be this queen bee, but you can't be. See, it could have been me.
Could have been
me.
Sick and demented.
What a shame.
Right then, coming up now, it's Free Range by The Fall off the seminal... Fall off the seminal Code Selfish LP. But this is actually the 12-inch, and this is probably the best version of the track I've heard of.
Free Range.
Yeah.
And Dave Bush, our keyboard player, was actually in The Fall when this was written, and claims to have written the riff, which is kind of why he got the job in Elastica. I thought he was going to do the same for us, but he hasn't so far. So Dave, if you're listening, do some work tonight and make it sound like this. And that's the genius of Mr. Mark Smith and The Fall.
Yeah.
And that was Free Range, and that was the 12-inch version. We're just talking about what the difference is. I don't think there's a lot of difference, apart from the bit at the beginning. But it sounds better because it's on vinyl, as ever.
Right, my name's Paul from Elastica.
And I'm Justine from Elastica.
And the next track we're going to play, well, you've probably heard this track before, as the band are quite big, but you probably haven't heard this version.
Yeah, it's bootleg, and it's it's really interesting actually because you can hear them writing the song, and I think you can also hear the 2-track machine or whatever it was at that point, 4-track or 2-track, rewinding, and they obviously keep kind of dropping themselves back in and changing their minds, and you can kind of hear where the song ends up going to. It's back in the USSR, and obviously by the Beatles. When you've heard it a couple of times, it really gets under your skin. It's absolutely brilliant. Quite dark. And that was Leila from the album Like Weather. It's track 2. Very sinister sounding track, that.
Very sinister, yeah.
Sounds good in a big bassy stereo, not your radio, basically. If you got it set up through speakers, you're laughing.
Right, now coming up next, I'm going to play the Beastie Boys.
Yeah, who are probably the coolest band in the world at the moment, I think.
You think?
Yeah, and I think this is the best track they ever did. It's actually not on an album, this version. It's just on an EP. They did like 5 different versions of the same song.
Right, that's why I can't find it.
Yeah, probably. I probably bought all the copies, actually.
Oh, okay.
And this is Root Down. And that's Root Down, Beastie Boys. Absolutely love that track.
Yeah,
it's
you
amazing.
do, don't you?
Bass sound on it. If you put that on at home, it's so hard to follow it. I reckon Black Steel's just about the only other thing I can think of that's got the same bass sound. Might play that later.
Might play that later. But what we're going to play now, we're going to play...
the Tigre.
Le Tigre.
Yeah.
And this is called Hot Topic.
And it's Kathleen Hanna's new band. She was in Bikini Kill. And I prefer this lot to Bikini Kill, actually, I must say.
Right, yeah.
I really like this album. I like the way it sounds. I like the way it's... it all sounds quite kind of basement-y, sort of little demo noises, strange keyboards and drum machine. And this one sounds like something you'd learn to sing in school or something. Do you know what I mean? And this is Hot Topic. And that's Wire from Chairs Missing, and before that was Hot Topic from Le Tigre.
Ah.
And Wire, obviously, one of my favourite bands.
Certainly are.
You quite like them now, don't you?
I do, yeah. Love them. Certainly an influence on the first record.
Yeah. I think they take a while to get into, but they're awfully good when you do get into them.
Awfully good. Intelligent guitar music.
Yeah, absolutely. Art punk.
Art punk,
You like a bit of art punk.
Not meandering either.
And what are you going for next, exactly?
Well, I think it's yours, actually.
Is it? Is it me next?
It is. I think...
Perhaps it is.
Is it Kraftwerk?
Oh, it's Kraftwerk next.
It's Kraftwerk.
That's your choice.
That's my choice, yeah. Probably the second most influential band in the world after the Beatles, I say.
You reckon?
I say, yeah.
In the world of Paul?
In the world of me, yeah. And this is Computer Love.
That's Kraftwerk.
Yeah, Computer Love.
One of Paul's choices.
Right, and this is one of Justine's.
Something to wake you up.
Something to wake you up, yeah.
And this is by a band called Snuff, and it was a B-side on an EP called Yuki, and you might recognise it. It's a live version of something that was pretty big a couple of years ago, but I think this version's better, personally. Snuff, the Rockefeller Skank is superb.
Superb.
And thanks a lot for listening to us. This is Justine from Elastica.
And this is Justine as well. And we're going to end...
Yeah, on another one of my favourite bands.
Yeah.
It's been great. I got to play all my favourite records.
Yeah, and tolerate some of mine.
Yeah, and this is Pavement. And this was on Wowie Zowie, which is
their finest.
Their finest and probably most underrated record. And this is Rattled by the Rush. See you later.
See ya.
Bye.